Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, April 9th, 2018 meeting of the Durham County Board of Commissioners. The time is now, I know we're getting a late start this evening. The time is now 7:07 p.m. I will now share the public charge. The Board of Commissioners asks its members and citizens to conduct themselves in a respectful, courteous manner, both with the board and fellow citizens. At any time, should any member of the board or any citizen fail to observe this public charge, the chair will ask the offending person to leave the meeting until that individual regains personal control. Should decorum fail to be restored, the chair will recess the meeting until such time that a genuine commitment to the public charge is observed. As a courtesy to others, please turn off cell phones during the meeting. And I will now ask that we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the Republic. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda this evening? Okay, seeing there are no adjustments, we'll move on to the announcements. Please help Kids Voting Durham spread the word about our upcoming Youth Candidate Forum on April 17th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Hillside High School. As you know, Kids Voting Forums are led by students for other students and offer a chance to have in-depth conversations with candidates about the issues that are important to young people. And even though only the under 18-year-old participants get to ask questions at this forum, adults can learn a lot by listening to candidates talk with students. You can also find more information about how youth, adults, schools, and others can get involved in the May Kids Voting Durham elections and events at www.kidsvotingdurham.org/elections. And again, the candidate forum is on April 17th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Hillside High School. Mark your calendars. The last round of North Carolina 98 Corridor Study public meetings is this April. These meetings will be held in an open house format. Attendees can come anytime between the hours of 5 to 7 p.m. at the Durham County Library on April 16th, 2018, 211 Lick Creek Lane, Durham, North Carolina, 27703, to learn about the project, ask questions, and provide input to the project team. Again, the Highway 98 Corridor Study, anyone who lives around that area, who commutes on 98, it will be on April 16th, 5 to 7 at the East Regional Library. And I have a few other announcements, and then other commissioners may have some as well. I wanted to share that right now there is the application period for pre-K kindergarten programs, and it is really important to apply for these are programs like the NC Pre-K program, Head Start, and the Durham Public Schools programs, pre-K programs. And you can call 919-314-6813 to set up an appointment. You can also go to walk in at one of the Durham County Head Start offices Monday through Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you will get assistance with filling out an application. You can go either to the 215 West Seminary Avenue location. It's right across from the McDonald's and the Y MCA downtown to do this. Or you can go to the 908 Liberty Street, Leathers Meacham location to get help with filling out an application there. And this information will also be on our website. We'll also list how you could do this online. You can also go to the East Durham Children's Initiative at 1405 Holloway Street between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. on April 11th, April 25th, May 7th, or between 11 and 2 on April 9th, 23rd, and 9th. So we will have this information up on our website about what you need to bring with you and also what the other requirements are. But it's very important that we get the children in our community who are eligible for these programs to get them signed up. Also wanted to share that there is going to be a public meeting related to a proposed roundabout on Mineral Springs Road at Pleasant Drive. This will be on Monday, April 23rd, 2018, 5 to 7 p.m. at 100 Pleasant Drive in Durham. This is an NC DOT project and meeting. And again, we will have this information on our website. Also want to let people know that on Saturday at McDougall Terrace, which is the address is 42B Ridgeway Avenue, will be a celebration of peace that's sponsored by Bull City United, which is a Durham County program. And from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 14th, there's going to be free games, giveaways, and food, and this is open to the public. And I'll just see, commissioners, if there are any other announcements that anyone has to share. Commissioner Howerton.
Just a one, and I'll get these printed off. This is information from the North Carolina Association of Counties. It's regarding the school construction bond. They just sent me a press release that I'll get. I guess I need to get it done so that it can be sent out, and also there will be a resolution that would be put together to begin the advocacy for that bond. So I'll get those information printed out. I didn't have a chance to print it out today, but
Okay, thank you. Okay, I did want to also share to let folks know that our veteran services offices are going to have limited services April 10th through April 13th, and will reopen for normal hours on April 16th at 8:30 a.m.
And Madam Chair, and that's because they have a conference in Greensboro, which I'll be attending. So that's why the office will be that way.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, seeing that there are no further announcements, we'll move on to the minutes. And we have work session minutes from February 8th, 2018, regular session March 26th, 2018, and legislative breakfast March 16th, 2018.
I move that we approve those 3 sets of minutes.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Reckow. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are unanimously approved. And I'd just like to ask Eddie Culberson if you would please mind coming up here this evening. We have a special item on our agenda this evening, and we have a number of people who are here with us this evening because of this item. So I would like to ask Jay Gibson, our general manager, if he would please introduce this item to us. And then also I want to recognize everyone else who is here as well because of this. And Eddie is our Soil and Water Department Director.
Commissioners, we appreciate your making time for us this very special occasion. Eddie was recently selected by the Soil Conservation Society, Hugh Hammond Bennett chapter, which is our North Carolina State chapter, to receive a professional achievement in water quality for the body of work through the years that he has done, both in helping our agricultural producers have better conservation and water quality practices, as well as the work he has done in recognizing how rapidly our county was evolving from an agrarian to a more urbanized environment, and thereby amending programs or creating new ones to help those urbanizing areas as well with water quality. This is an especially significant award because Hugh Hammond Bennett, for whom the chapter is named, was a North Carolina native. He also is regarded as the father of soil conservation, if you will, was the first chief of the Soil Conservation Service. President Roosevelt appointed him to this in the mid-30s following the Dust Bowl and the recognition for greater conservation practices. For me, I grew up as an SCS kid. My dad was a career employee and worked with the districts like Eddie and others for many years. And this is an especially significant achievement on Eddie's part because of those reasons and many others. With that, we have a number of guests. We have Talmadge Layton, our Soil and Water District Board Chair. We have Dave Harris, one of our...
Can you please stand as your... Thank you, Talmadge.
We are joined Mrs. Culberson, Eddie's wife, and which, by the way, Eddie, she assures me you will not have to walk home after all. There was commissioners, there's a little subterfuge in getting Eddie here tonight, and so he was informed at one point that his spouse was very aggrieved and he might have to walk a long ways home in the dark. And then we also have our excellent staff here. You folks stand, please. Lisa, Heather, Jennifer, Mike, folks who you've seen throughout time. And then we have Matt. Where are you hiding? Here he is on the far side, Matt Canane. Matt was formerly our district conservationist with the federal, what used to be Soil Conservation Service, now NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service. Matt is also the president of the Soil and Water Conservation Society Hugh Hammond Bennett chapter. And with that, Matt, would you come over and make a few comments to that end? Eddie, are you breathing again yet? Yeah. He told me he had studied the agenda 10 times and couldn't find his name on it anywhere, and so he was puzzled why he was here and very concerned about it.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jay Gibson, thank you for inviting me here tonight there on the Soil and Water Conservation District partners there and the District County citizens here. As Jay mentioned, my name is Matthew Canane. I'm the president of the local chapter or the state chapter of the Hugh Hammond Bennett chapter for the Soil and Water Conservation Society. I had the privilege, as Jay mentioned there, is to work with Eddie for the last 8 years until my transfer up to the NRCS state office in Raleigh there. I was the district conservationist there. I just want to give you a little bit background about the Soil and Water Conservation Society there. It's the mission of the Soil and Water Conservation Society is to foster the science and the art of natural resources conservation and environmental management on working lands, the land used to produce food, fiber, and other services that improve the quality of life people experience in rural and urban communities, and mentioned rural and urban communities there. We work to discover, develop, implement, and constantly improve ways to use land that sustains its productive capability and enhances the environment at the same time. We're trying to do both, and improve and enhance. The Soil Water Conservation Society is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated towards the fostering the science and the art of soil and water and related natural resource management to achieve sustainability. With a membership of 5,000 people, this SWCS provides its members with those with the conservation community with policy, directed research done by the society, and outlets for members who conduct their own research there through publications like the Journal of Soil Water Conservation. Each year, the North Carolina chapter of the Soil Conservation Society, or the Hugh Hammond Bennett chapter, will take the opportunity to request our members of the chapter to provide or submit nominations of those individuals, groups, organizations, or unit of governments to be recognized for the outstanding leadership and work done in the environment. At the chapter's award celebration, we provide that recognition to those awardees there. So once a year, we gather to recognize these individuals across the state. We cover the whole state from the mountains to the sea. This year, the chapter recognized Durham County employee for his professional achievement in water quality. Chapter's Professional Achievement Water Quality Award recognized specific contributions that are made and support the chapter's water quality program. This year at our chapter's awards celebration, Eddie Culberson, Director for the Durham County Soil and Water Conservation Department, was recognized for his leadership that he provided to help Durham and the Durham Soil and Water Conservation Department and the Durham Soil and Water Conservation District to become a model for soil and water conservation districts across the Southeast. Now, Durham is not your typical agricultural rural county that has a majority of long-established federal and state cost share programs to provide funding for conservation purposes. No, as development began to expand in Durham County 3.5 decades ago, Durham began losing its agricultural lands and community, a problem which many districts are now only beginning to experience here in North Carolina and across the Southeast there. Eddie had the foresight to see that if the district didn't change its ways or its approach to conservation to include more than just agricultural land, then the district will eventually cease to exist. And in witnessing the impact of changing landscape on Durham County citizens, the extreme erosion of the creek beds, and the resulting water quality degradation, Eddie began to explore new ways of developing concept streams restoration. It was a new concept coming along 20, 25 years ago about stream restoration and what's going on there. And Eddie grabbed it and studied it and looked at it in different ways about it there. Since the beginning of this new program area, Eddie had sought engineering firms to partner with the Durham Soil and Water Conservation District to develop plans of action and implementation plans for stream improvements. This partnership has enabled the district to secure grants that provided funding for over $7.9 million for the design, permitting, and construction of these projects. Additionally, not wanting to do away with the county agriculture for Durham County Agriculture for Good there, Eddie anticipated the use of permanently preserving what farmland remained in the county for future generations there. And the start of the preservation was Eddie's assistance with forming a voluntary agriculture farmland protection program in Durham County. Eddie has been instrumental in assisting landowners that want to sign up, put their land into VAD programs, which is present use taxation program, and assisting landowners with putting their land into conservation easements. All this has proved to be a valuable tool for preserving farmland that helped to improve water quality and preserve the scenic environment and preserve wildlife habitat. Eddie has been instrumental in improving water quality in Durham County and the numerous stream restoration programs and the stormwater management projects he has helped to complete. With numerous agricultural producers, he has provided assistance and guidance, and I can't think of anyone more deserving of the Hugh Hammond Bennett Professional Achievement Water Quality Award than Eddie Culberson there.
Thank you so much.
Here's an award here, Eddie, from the society to you, something to put on the wall to help remind you of your recognition for this great achievement.
Well, Eddie, I hope you were surprised.
You like surprises?
Well, yeah, I want to compliment the staff. You know, I thought they were strong technically, but they have careers in acting too. I will say this: I'm glad my wife didn't catch Jay Gibson in the back alley because he had told me I had to stay for the meeting, and today we rode in together, so she wasn't a happy camper when she heard that. So, but I let her out at the mall, and she was happy then. But I do thank the society for this honor. I do consider it an honor, but I consider it just as much an honor to work here in Durham County. And with the citizens, for every project we have, there's a story behind that project, and there's a citizen behind that project. And I guess when I did my benefit enrollment years ago, one of the benefits they didn't tell you about is the relationships you will build with the people here in the county. And I think our staff does an excellent job at creating those relationships, which makes for a great project. Hugh Hammett Bennett is well known, and he was the one that put the local soil and water conservation districts together. And his dream was for each soil and water district to tailor-make their program to the county. And I think that's what our board and our staff has done. But I do thank each one of you for taking the opportunity to recognize me again tonight. And if you need us, just call us.
Well, thank you. Well, Eddie, we know that this award is so deserving for you, especially when you get an award from your peers. It really has special meaning. And so this is very well deserved. We are really grateful for all of the decades of service that you have given to Durham County and the impact that you have had on this county. And, I think the description that you read was so important and so pertinent because that's what you have done, Eddie, is you have really been innovative and you have made the soil and water department so relevant to everything that we do today in Durham. And you are always humble. And I think one of the reasons that you are so successful is because people trust you and because of the relationships that you have built in this community with so many different people across this whole community and also with your staff. So thank you so much. And I know other commissioners probably want to join in. Commissioner Retkow?
Well, I've overlapped with Eddie for about 3 decades, and I guess we've always had a superb soil and water program. Eddie and the staff have been tremendous. But what I've seen, particularly over the last 10 to 15 years, is a real entrepreneurial approach where you've really widened the circle of what you can do by bringing in so much outside money. You've also capitalized on the expertise at our local universities, and it's really been a joy to watch the tremendous growth of our program. We also have seen great involvement with our youth. You've always had involvement with the youth, particularly through the various programs you run at the elementary, middle, and high school levels, but the programs that you have at the high school level, particularly with Southern High School, have allowed students to get their feet wet actually working in the field. So we applaud all of your leadership and your work over so many years to Durham County. Really appreciate it.
So I guess I could just say ditto, ditto, ditto. And one of the things, Eddie, I'm looking at your team, and there's one, most of your team has been there for years with you, and there's one that's missing tonight. Brother Ray.
Oh, here, we just do the work of one more is what it is.
Just kind of miss seeing him with you. But thank you so much for all that you do, and I've seen up close the things that you guys do, and I appreciate the work that all of you do. And as the leader, kudos.
Well, congratulations. Okay, well, that wasn't on your agenda because the whole point was that that was supposed to be a surprise, so. Okay, we do have several other ceremonial items tonight. One is a proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month, and I know we have several people here tonight with us. We have Ben Rose, our DSS director, Sharon Hirsch, as well for Preventive Child Abuse North Carolina. So I know we've got Jovetta Whitfield here from one of our DSS directors. So please welcome. And I will first read the proclamation, and then we'd love to hear more from each of you. Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Child Abuse Prevention Month 2018. Whereas children are vital to our state's future, success, prosperity, and quality of life, as well as being our most vulnerable asset. And whereas all children deserve to have the safe, stable, nurturing homes and communities they need to foster their healthy growth and development. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a community responsibility, affecting both the current and future quality of life of a community. And whereas communities that provide parents with the social support, knowledge of parenting and child development and concrete resources they need to cope with stress and nurture their children to ensure all children grow to their full potential. And whereas effective child abuse prevention strategies succeed because of partnerships created among citizens, human service agencies, schools, faith communities, healthcare providers, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now, therefore, I, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April of 2018 as Child Abuse Prevention Month, and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, elected leaders, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. This, the 9th day of April, 2018, Wendy Jacobs, Chair, Durham Board of County Commissioners. So thank you for bringing this important resolution to us, reminding all of us of this important month. And then I will let you share any comments with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Board of Commissioners. I hope you got to see the pinwheels out front. That's representing Child Abuse Prevention Month, and those pinwheels are representing what we want our children to have. We and DSS, Child Protective Services and Child Welfare is probably one of our most critical services, as you know. And I think one thing you heard in the resolution is community and partnerships. We cannot do the jobs that we do in DSS without those partnerships. We have our community child protection team that has an array of professionals on it meeting monthly to help us with strategies and identify resource and advocacy. We have our county attorney, Lowell, and his staff that work with us day in and day out. Our judicial partners, our providers, our guardian ad litem, our law enforcement agencies, our schools, our medical providers, faith-based community, and of course, the Board of Commissioners, the Social Services Board, and County Management, and all the citizens. We really want people to understand and be aware that this is a real issue facing some of our children. And everything we can do to prevent child abuse, we want to do that so that we can try to not need as many resources on that other end, that as Sharon called it, the upstream. And we want to try to get children before they get abused and neglected as much as we can. And this is what this month is about. Sharon Hirsch is here. We're partnering with her in this proclamation, so I'm definitely going to let her speak because this is a big effort of Prevent Child Abuse North Carolina. So I'll give it over to Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. I'm here tonight to say thank you to all of you for the work that you do to raise awareness around this issue. Child Abuse Prevention Month is really the month where we can focus more attention on the things that we can do to prevent abuse and neglect from ever happening and to create the kind of supportive communities and strong families that we know will keep children safe. And Durham is a real leader in this work. And I particularly want to recognize Commissioner Reckow and Commissioner Howerton for the work that they've been doing the last couple of years. We're one of the most well-informed communities about this issue, particularly in showing the documentary film Resilience, which we also share statewide. It's a tremendous effort to really educate folks about what happens early in childhood and how that impacts our health for a lifetime. So I really want to thank both of you for all that you do, both here in Durham, but really statewide, particularly Commissioner Howerton and the work that you're doing with the County Commissioners Association. County commissions play such a vital role in funding human services that being able to have that kind of platform across the state is really extraordinary. So thank you all so much for all that you do. I particularly also want to thank the entire Board of County Commissioners for your passage of paid family leave last year. That's a concrete support for families that we know is proven to help prevent abuse and neglect. And it's things like that that this county has been committed to that have really made us a leader. And I say us because I'm a very proud citizen of Durham. I also want to remind everyone that this is a community issue. And while social services did request this proclamation, the way that we're going to tackle this is really a public health, population-level, community-wide approach. It's not a social service problem, it's a community issue. And we know that safe, stable, nurturing relationships and environments are game changers for kids. When we know that there's the presence of one caring adult in the life of a child, it can buffer any adversity that they've had. And we also know that we're spending too much money on a very preventable problem. We know North Carolina is spending $2 billion every single year on the downstream consequences of child abuse and neglect. The state of North Carolina only puts $2 million into prevention. That ratio is way out of whack. But you also are critical funders of health, human services, and education. And so one of the things that we're doing this year differently for Child Abuse Prevention Month is asking county commissioners and county management, as you're putting your budgets together this year, think about how much and analyze how much you're spending downstream in the criminal justice system, in education, in healthcare, in social services, and then figure out how much you're spending upstream to support and strengthen families. You do that a lot. We do that a lot here in Durham County, but compare those budget numbers and then make a commitment to change that ratio by just 2%. We could change that ratio by 2% every year. 10 years from now, we are going to see better outcomes because we're spending a lot of money and we're not getting good. With that, I also want to invite you on Sunday afternoon. We will be planning our largest pinwheel garden in Durham County at the American Tobacco campus at noon. We'll be planning 500 pinwheels, so please come out and join us. We'll be down by the cage at American Tobacco. And again, thank you all for all that you do throughout county government to support the safe, stable, nurturing relationships and environments every child. Thank you.
Thank you. And Javetta, no, you're shaking your head. So Sharon, could you also share with people who are listening just how they can find out more information about how to prevent child abuse and what some of the important signs are, just where people can get more information? And then I'm going to ask the same for Javetta and Ben, just about resources. So.
Sure. Our website is a wonderful resource. It's preventchildabusennc.org. And one of the most important resources that folks can go to at our website is our free course that's called Recognizing and Responding to Child Maltreatment. It's an online course that you can take 24/7. It takes about 2 hours. We strongly recommend that anyone who works with children, particularly in our public schools, take that course. It gives you the signs of abuse and neglect, what to look for, but more importantly, it also tells you what you need to do to report suspected child maltreatment, because in North Carolina, all adults are mandatory reporters. There's also a wide range of other information on the website about the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, ways to get involved, and other activities that any citizen can do and the different ways that you can foster protective factors to prevent abuse.
That sounds great. And if you don't mind emailing all of us a link to that,
Sure.
because I think with this being the month to help prevent, it's, I think, a good time for us to really focus on that and share that information with our partners, who could benefit from that. And also Ben and Jovetto, just to let people know about, in terms of our, what we're doing in Durham County, if, what resources that we provide, if you could just give a little information about that.
Yes, well, I would, one follow-up with Sharon is, mentioned all adults are mandatory reporters. And the best thing that anybody can do, if they suspect child abuse and neglect, report it. Don't try to figure out or read the definitions too much. Just go ahead and report it and let us do that in DSS. 919-560-8424 is the number to call to make a report. So we would encourage any citizen, if they suspect any child abuse and neglect, make that report. We will screen the report, and if it meets the definition of child abuse and neglect, we will send resources out to intervene and talk to the family and try to find out what's going on and then put resources in place if there are issues. Our community child protection team is doing some really great work as well. They're looking at a lot of cases that we have and identifying gaps in services that we may have and resources that we may need, which has really been an exciting process to see them come along. Heidi serves on that as well, and I think we're starting to really evolve that team now and make some good progress in terms of not only the reactive part, but the proactive part as well, too, which is just as important. I'll let you bet.
To address your question or request to information on resources, in addition to calling that number, 560-8424, you can always call the main number, 560-8000, ask to speak with a child welfare program manager or myself, your assistant director, and we can provide you resources. Also on our website, we have a lot of community partners whom we work with that are listed on our website, because as stated earlier by Sharon Hirsch, we don't do this by ourselves. This is a community effort, whether it's private, nonprofit, public. We do this as a group. And so we are currently trying to get upstream and not downstream. And so the Department of Social Services is involved in several initiatives, either ones that mostly that we're partnering with other people with, to prevent child abuse and neglect and trying to share information up front, such as our domestic violence grant. We have a grant where we are working to get information out and share resources to victims of domestic violence before they become to our attention as a child abuse report. We also are working with Alliance Behavioral Health and trying to provide services to maintain families and children in the home before they can be removed out of the home or have to be removed out of the home. For years, the county has supported our kinship care program, which helps to keep children from entering foster care. And so there are efforts that we are doing and we will continue to do and explore, but those are just some in addition to serving on the Task Force for Resilience, and that is something that the agency will continue to embark on and grow. It's becoming a part of every conversation where prevention is the conversation, such as our domestic violence.
Thank you so much for giving that overview and sharing that information. And Commissioner Greco?
Well, I want to pick up on something that Sharon brought up, and that is that we do need to examine how we support resiliency in our community. And the task force has learned, and I have forwarded to some of the directors, Gail Harris and Ben Rose, along with the Rob Robinson with the Alliance, that there are long waiting lists for the services that our young people need in our community. And proposals have been put together to enhance programming. I'm personally concerned that with the proactive approach we are taking, where we are starting screening with prenatal visits for our moms and with well child visits at the largest pediatric clinic, we're going to have even longer waiting lists. So I hope that a recommendation will come forward from our HHS directors about what you think we should do in the upcoming year, because it would be irresponsible to be screening young children and then not providing the important help that families need to get back on track.
Their comment? So anyway, well, thank you Commissioner Hill? Oh, Commissioner Howerton?
Well, thank you. I just want to say thank all of you for the work that you do, which is some of the most important work that we can all do about our children. And Sharon, if you haven't been contacted yet, you will be for our conference coming up in August, so that more of our commissioners will be aware of this and that they can take advantage of it, because children anywhere not being taken care of is a problem for all of us. There's that old African proverb: you ask the community, how are the children doing? If you can't say that the children are doing well, your community is not doing well. So that's what we have to be concerned about, how our children are doing. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, and I ask that you please come and receive the proclamation. Thank you for the important work that you all are doing. Okay, we also have a proclamation to recognize that April is National County Government Month. And I don't know if we have anyone actually here for this. I guess Dawn Dudley, our Senior Public Information Specialist. Thank you, Dawn. And I will first read the proclamation. Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, National County Government Month 2018. Whereas the nation's 3,069 counties serving more than 300 million Americans provide essential services to create healthy, safe, and vibrant communities. And whereas counties move America forward, providing health care, administering justice, keeping communities safe, creating economic opportunities, and much, much more. And whereas Durham County government and all counties take pride in their responsibility to protect and enhance the health, welfare, and safety of its residents in efficient and cost-effective ways. And whereas through the National Association of County Presidents, Roy Charles Brooks' Serving the Underserved initiative, NACO is focusing on the critical role that counties play in breaking multi-generational cycles of poverty. And whereas in order to remain healthy, vibrant, and safe, America's counties provide public health, justice, safety, infrastructure, transportation, technology, environmental stewardship, and economic services that play a key role in everything from residents' daily commutes to emergency response. And whereas each year since 1991, the National Association of Counties has encouraged counties across the country to actively promote their own programs and services to the public they serve. And whereas this year's celebration will include internal and external activities created through the collaborative efforts of the Durham County Manager's Office, the Department of Public Health, the Department of Social Services, and Emergency Medical Services. This month will also include multiple educational opportunities for employees and residents based on the 2018 NCGM theme, and now, therefore, I, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April of 2018 as National County Government Month in Durham County, and encourage all county officials, employees, schools, and residents to participate in county government celebration activities. This, the 9th day of April, 2018, Wendy Jacobs, Chair, Durham Board of County Commissioners. So Dawn, please share with us what some of the activities will be that will be taking place this month.
Thank you,
Celebrate all that counties do, because we
Right.
do a lot.
Right. And this year's theme, Serving the Underserved, I think is part of the work that we do every day. And so it's a great opportunity for us to highlight some of the things that we're doing. And like I said, well, what's said in the proclamation, there will be internal and external programming. There are already some things that are going on with the Department of Social Services and also the Department of Public Health, including the Safe Syringe Program. There was a release that came out from the Department of Public Health earlier this month that talks about the distribution of safe syringes, so it won't be, I guess, cross-contamination. I might be using the wrong wording to address some of our drug prevention efforts in our community and also infectious disease. I'm sure that maybe Gail can speak more to that. Also, DSS is having some programs this morning related, or not this morning, but this year related to child protection, which was just highlighted by our director of DSS, Ben Rose. We also are working with emergency medical services and the Durham Center on Senior Life on a program that is going to connect our seniors in the community with our community paramedics and asking them what do they need from our emergency medical services to serve their needs day in and day out. We also, in the county manager's office, are partnering with the Human Resources Department. On the 26th of August, or April rather, we'll have children coming in, some of our own children, our employees' children, coming in for a day to learn more about what we do here in county government. They'll spend the day with their parent, and there'll be activities that will take place. They'll tour our facilities, and we will be able to talk to them about what we do as a county and serving them day in, day out. The last thing that we're doing internally is we're having an employee celebration. We like to definitely recognize our employees too for the work that they do. The celebration will be very small scale, but just saying thank you for how they serve our residents every day.
Thank you, Dawn, for sharing some of the activities that will be taking place. I love the take your child to work day. And I guess maybe some people, if you don't have a child here with you, maybe you could bring somebody else that you're mentoring, or somebody, someone in your neighborhood or your church, or who's a part of your life. But I think that that's a wonderful idea. And I would love, Gail, if you could just share a little bit more about the Safe Syringe Program, because this is a brand new service that we are offering. And if you could explain, how people can take advantage of that.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. This month, the Health Department is launching a safe syringe program, and this is for injecting drug users. We want to encourage them to use syringes that are not infected so that they won't get hepatitis C, HIV, endocarditis, and other diseases as a result of using contaminated needles. And so we have a process that will allow them to bring their used syringes to the health department. It's not a requirement that they do that. And we will give them as many syringes as they need, along with the other items needed for safe injecting. And of course, we will refer them for
HIV testing and counseling, hepatitis C, and we will refer them to substance use treatment as well. But this is an effort to protect our citizens and help them get to the point where they are ready for substance use treatment. They will also carry a card from the health department in the county's colors that will identify them as participants in the Safe Syringe program. And we've shared information with both sectors of law enforcement in our community, giving them our policies, our security protocol, and explaining to them the information they will find on the card. So these individuals will not be arrested for having drug paraphernalia on their person. And this is created by the STOP Act, passed and clarified last spring. So we look forward to being able to serve our community in that fashion. So if there are questions, please call the health department. You can call the main number, 919-560-7600, and ask for someone to speak to about the Safe Syringe program.
Thank you, Gail. And is there also going to be a drop box?
There is a medication drop box that's already installed in the lobby of the Human Services Building. So you can clean out your medicine cabinets with expired over-the-counter medications or prescription medications that you no longer need. Getting rid of those items in your medicine cabinet will prevent poisonings, unintentional or intentional poisoning. So no questions asked. You can bring them, drop them in the box. It looks like a mailbox right there in our lobby.
Great. Thank you so much. So thank you, Dawn. And I would ask that you please come and accept this proclamation, and thank you for all that you do for Durham County.
Thank you. I just want to say one more thing.
Yes.
When you talked about bring your child to work day, I wanted to take this opportunity to invite the public to please come take tours. They can coordinate through the Public Information Office at any time during the year, whether they're classrooms or individuals from the community that want to learn more about what we do up close and personal. And this year, we're also reinstating the Neighborhood College Program, which is another educational opportunity. So I want to plug that because that will be coming out very soon as well.
Okay, well, great. Thank you. Okay, next we have our consent agenda, and we do have one. We have someone signed up to speak on one of our items, 18-0753, the resolution to support women's health, and we have, I think that says Tony. Is that right, Tony Curry? So thank you for being with us, and if you could just state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you. Oh, 2 minutes. I'm sorry, 2 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Tony Curry. My address is 4501 Emerald Forest Drive in Durham, 27713. And I am the Development Director for NARAL Pro-Choice North Carolina, as well as a resident of Durham County. NARAL Pro-Choice North Carolina is a statewide organization that advocates for access to the full range of reproductive health care and rights for all, in full support of decisions of North Carolinians make to prevent pregnancy, to terminate a pregnancy, carry a pregnancy safely to term, and to raise families in safe and supportive environments. We thank you for considering the request that we made in coalition with 13 other local organizations for the Board of Commissioners to issue a resolution calling on the federal government to repeal the Hyde Amendment, which blocks federal funding for low-income patients who need abortion care. Along with our partner organizations, we're representing thousands of people in Durham County who believe that the Hyde Amendment represents a reproductive rights, gender equality, economic security, health equity, and safety issue for county residents and is counter to the human right of bodily autonomy for all. No matter one's personal feelings on abortion, most people agree that one's income, insurance status, or zip code should not impact one's ability to access the health care that they need. We hope the Durham County Board of Commissioners will consider this resolution, which would be the first of its kind in North Carolina. This is an opportunity for Durham County to again be on the leading edge of advancing social justice in North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know that this item is on our consent agenda, but after we pass our consent agenda, I'm going to ask Commissioner Carter to please read aloud the resolution. I'm also, before we move forward with the consent agenda, I do want to recognize the first item, 18-0647. We have a number of people here with us from the IT department, our IT director. We have other staff, and if you would please come and share with us some, special information about this award. And please recognize everybody who's here with you today, Greg, because this is a special, very special award.
Good evening, Chair Jacobs and Commissioners. First, we want to thank you for the recognition this evening. This is a very special award for us, presented by the UNC School of Government, and we're fortunate this evening that we have representation here from UNC School of Government, and Dr. Tufts will be making comments. But I just want to make a point or a distinction regarding this particular award. Oftentimes when we're talking about technology, we're talking about business process improvements and things to help run Durham County business. This award is recognizing how we have used technology to solve a community challenge that will benefit the residents of Durham. And so it's very exciting for me, and I'm very proud of the team. And obviously we can't do this without working closely with our partners, our department heads, and we have Gudrun here with us this evening because she is the one who conceived the idea, and she brought us to the table, and here we are this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to have Dr. Tufts make some comments from UNC School of Government.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This has been such a delightful board meeting compared to most that I attend. I love this. It's been really fun, and I almost cried because the wife of the gentleman that received the award was crying in front of me, and I thought, if I ruin my makeup before I talk to y'all, that would be bad. So what I want to bring to you is this program that we created in 2012, and so I have been working at the School of Government for 18 years. I like to think of myself as an IT evangelist. That's basically what I go around and do, is try to help people understand the importance of technology, the role of technology in the government arena, the ways that we should be thinking about investing in technology. And I've known most of the staff here in Durham County for probably not 18 years. I'm not going to put that on you. I've probably known Steve for pretty close to 18 years now. And Durham County has always been one of the most innovative groups of folks to work with from a technology standpoint. For me, what Greg talked about was really hitting the sort of nail on the head with what we conceived with this project several years ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and decided that we need to do more for local governments that are doing great work through technology, which most of us are now. And I decided to go forward to my dean, who's Mike Smith, and ask if I could go out and ask for funding for a way to financially reward local governments that have done something that is able to be repeated in almost any organization across the state, across the nation, something innovative. It's not about business process reengineering always, but this idea that a business unit would recognize a problem and come to the service group, which is the IT department, and say, can you help me solve this problem? That is exactly what we were looking for. And so we went to the local government federal credit union and asked for funding so that we could provide a $10,000 grant to one local government, along with two $2,500 grants to two local governments based on their submissions. We have a team of CIOs and CEOs, private sector, public sector mix. The last 2 years, I've added law enforcement representation in particular that I think really helped the Durham County effort. As a matter of fact, I got an instant request of, how can I get a hold of that? Because we want to do that now. I will tell you the proudest moment for Durham County and sort of my perspective is, and I haven't told anybody standing behind me about this, but one of my colleagues at the School of Government sent an email to several of us, Jeff Welty, who is the head of our judicial college, myself, and said, look at this great thing New York City is doing, which is texting reminders to folks that have received some type of infraction or criminal charge. And wow, what do we need to do to get that in North Carolina? He sent me this a month and a half ago. And I said, yeah, we've already got it. It's in Durham. It was amazing to be able to say, New York City, I mean, I think we're pretty cutting edge here in Durham County. And what they have done with the various, this is probably the second time you guys have received an award. I believe you are the largest number of award winners of our program. We do it annually. And this year, I saw a line stand up to talk to Mickey as he was talking about this program, asking how they could get involved at our local IT conference, because everybody wants to be able to do this because it made such a significant impact. I'm going to have Mickey give you a few statistics, if that's okay, and then I would like for your Criminal Justice Resource Center director to come up as well.
Well, as you know, all the system does that Gudrun designed and we implemented is it just sends out reminders to anybody that has a court date. Anybody can sign up. It will work for criminal. Her initial vision was criminal cases. It works for criminal infractions. So if you have a speeding ticket, you can sign up. It's courtreminders.deconc.gov, and it works just for Durham County. We want to open source the whole project so that anybody in any other county in North Carolina can take it over, or maybe even the court system as a whole, but we will see. We just want to make it so that anybody can use the system. That's it. And I do want to give a special thanks to my intern, Andrew Liriano, who did all of the interface work. He's a great young man who came to us from the Durham Yes program.
Thank you.
So the only credit that the Criminal Justice Resource Center can take is that we had the idea. But when I asked Greg for maybe some IT support, it took the project to a completely new level. And Mickey and Andrew built this application that there are a number of counties that are interested in replicating and using, and it has been designed so it can be easily adapted for the communities. It's fabulous. It is truly, it took it to another level, and our funders, the MacArthur Foundation and the Urban Institute that have funded this innovation project for us, are very pleased with the progress and with the outcome of this innovation project, and we have already shared it with some of our peers at the Justice Exchange, and so it's fabulous, and we really cannot take the credit for this part of the technology part of the project because we never envisioned, we didn't have the vision for how far it could go, and it's fabulous. I'm really proud, and I'm really grateful to our IS&T department.
Well, thank you so much, and this just represents such a great partnership. And Steve, I don't know if you wanted to say something, or Andrew, but just it's such a great partnership between local government, UNC School of Government, with two of our different departments, and also something that hopefully can be shared with other counties. Yes, absolutely.
Just so you'll know, I didn't put it together until just a few minutes ago. Actually, our office is working with Mickey and Steve now on some other things that they have created that are going to benefit not only Durham County, but all these other counties that are using. So it's pretty remarkable what they're doing.
So I hope that you're going to be submitting this to the Association of Counties, National Association, for an award. You are? Okay, great. So thank you so much for this extraordinary creation here. And I do want to send a message back to Mike, to UNC School of Government. Tell him how much we appreciate all the work that you guys do with us as county commissioners. You can just tell him we love him. It's okay to say that.
We all say that to him.
But without the School of Government, the fact that we have it right here at us, it's an awesome, awesome advantage to us to have that kind of talent and creativity right there. So thank you. And
Mickey was really humble, and he didn't give you this statistic that I think should be very important for all of you. So he ran a very quick assessment of just the criminal infractions, right, for the last 20 days. And typically, if you look at the statistics around the country, you would see about 16 to 20% of your jail population are actually for that failure to appear. With the numbers that he looked at, several thousand reminders were sent. For those people that signed up for the reminders, only 2 people did not show up for their court appearance.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I actually highlighted this program in my State of the County address several weeks ago, and the numbers there were that 2,000 people had participated in the program at that time. And when you think about the money saved from people not being arrested, not having to go to jail for failure to appear, the court time that doesn't get wasted, and then, of course, the impact that it has on the people that don't show up in court and how that impacts their lives. It's really incredible impact for this program. So,
I really love Gudrun. You were so humble about it. So thank you for the idea. Because, things happen when people become all creative and think of outside of the box. So thank you.
I just want to say that I also want to highlight that this also helps on the whole issue of reducing fines and fees, which we want to do for our citizens who are dealing with the criminal justice system. So we thank you for that also.
and we have this absolutely beautiful award here. Wow, this is a piece of art. So we'd ask that you all please come up here to be recognized. And again, congratulations and thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Give it to me.
Congratulations.
Somebody's got to take it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your work on it.
Thanks, Dee. Thank you so much for being here, too. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
So our consent agenda items go from 18-0647 all the way through 18-0753. And do I entertain a motion for approval?
I would move approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Reckow, seconded by Commissioner Howerton. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the consent agenda items are unanimously approved. And I would like Commissioner Carter, if you could please read the resolution that we just approved. And thank you. I see we have a number of people here who are here to support that resolution and who've been involved in that and advocating for that. And so thank you all for being with us here tonight as well and for all of your hard work.
Here's the resolution. It has a lot of good information in it. Durham Board of County Commissioners resolution to support women's health. Whereas access to safe, affordable, and comprehensive reproductive health care services is a basic human right and is vital to the overall physical and mental health of women, transgender, and gender nonconforming individuals who can become pregnant. And whereas every individual should have access to comprehensive reproductive health care throughout their lives, including screening for cancer and sexually transmitted infections, contraceptive services, abortion care, prenatal care, labor and delivery services, breastfeeding support, postpartum care, and menopausal care. And whereas abortion is one of the safest medical procedures in the United States, as demonstrated by data, including from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, showing that abortion has over a 99% safety record. And whereas every individual has a right to comprehensive, evidence-based information about the full range of reproductive health care options available to them, regardless of income, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, age, immigration status, criminal history, geographic circumstance, type of insurance, or insurance coverage status. And whereas, like other medical procedures, the safety of abortion is furthered by evidence-based practices developed and supported by medical professionals. And whereas an individual's bodily autonomy and freedom to make reproductive decisions is vital to their safety, well-being, economic opportunity, and ability to participate equally in society. And whereas on January 22nd, 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court, in a historic and landmark decision, ruled in Roe v. Wade that the U.S. Constitution safeguards a woman's ability to make her own personal decisions about when or whether to have children. And whereas that decision has allowed women to participate more fully in society, saved lives, and strengthened families, and we must always guard against efforts to deliberately erode the availability and affordability of abortion and undermine the protections provided by Roe v. Wade. And whereas in its 2016 Whole Women's Health versus Hellerstedt decision, the U.S. Supreme Court reaffirmed a woman's constitutional right to access abortion. And whereas the Hyde Amendment, passed by Congress on September 30th, 1976, has impeded access to abortion care for low-income women enrolled in Medicaid. And whereas additional laws that restrict insurance coverage of abortion create unjust obstacles to quality health care, and the impact of health inequities falls hardest on low-income women, women of color, immigrant and undocumented women, survivors of domestic violence, transgender and gender nonconforming individuals, and young women. And whereas an individual who wants to get an abortion but is denied one is more likely to fall into poverty than one who can get an abortion. And whereas North Carolina law currently imposes limitations on insurance coverage of abortion in the state Medicaid program. And whereas many North Carolinians, including state and federal employees, Peace Corps members, people who are incarcerated in federal prisons, Native Americans who utilize Indian health services, and members of the military who qualify for insurance coverage from the federal government, are subject to bans on insurance coverage of abortion. And whereas all women, transgender, and gender nonconforming individuals should have insurance coverage for comprehensive reproductive health care, including abortion care, to ensure that their economic status or the source of their insurance coverage does not affect important health care decisions or access. And whereas public health insurance should cover all of an individual's options when they are facing pregnancy, so that they are able to make a real decision about what is best for them and their family. And whereas it is imperative that funding of comprehensive reproductive health care be increased and that abortion be covered as part of comprehensive reproductive health care in all public insurance programs to ensure that services are accessible for individuals who are enrolled in such programs. And whereas the Durham County Board of Commissioners' commitment to social justice in its condemnation of HB 2 in April 2016 means a resolution in Durham County is aligned with its tradition of standing up for local control, progress, and social justice. And whereas the Durham County Board of Commissioners unanimously passed a resolution endorsing the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women on September 11, 2017, which outlined women's fundamental human rights, including women's health and economic disparities, including women's health and economic disparities that impact women. And whereas individuals of reproductive age in Durham County who are Durham Public Schools employees, including teachers, support staff, and administrators, federal, state, city, and county employees, and who purchase insurance through the Affordable Care Act are subject to a ban on abortion coverage. And whereas more than 1,865 Durham women of reproductive age enrolled in Medicaid are denied coverage for comprehensive pregnancy-related care that includes abortion care because of bans on such coverage imposed by federal and state lawmakers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Durham County Board of Commissioners calls for the repeal of the federal Hyde Amendment. And be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners calls upon President Trump and Governor Cooper to actively support measures to ensure and protect the rights of women, transgender, and gender nonconforming individuals to have access to safe and comprehensive health care. This, the 9th day of April, 2018, with places for all of our signatures.
Thank you, Commissioner Carter. And I am proud that Durham County government is, I think, one of the first, number 14 in the country and the first in North Carolina. So the first in North Carolina and the second in the South to pass this resolution. And this resolution is consistent with the actions and the policies that the Durham County Board of Commissioners has taken to support the rights of women, to support families, and to try to address health disparities in our community. As was noted in the resolution, we were the first county to pass the CEDAW resolution. We were the first local government to approve 12-week paid family leave. And as part of our commitment to racial equity training and the work that, very fitting that our health director is sitting with us at the end here.
Indeed.
All the work that our health department does to address racial disparities and economic disparities. And so we appreciate you bringing this to us, and we're proud to support it. Thank you. Bill, I think you wanted to.
I'd like to ask for excuse after meeting from 20.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. I'd like to ask for excuse absence from meetings from April 23rd to May
23rd to May 29th. Okay.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reckow.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Carter. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the absences are excused. I also want to make one quick comment about our consent agenda. I know that we just had a remarkable number of items on our consent agenda that were related to grant funding and donations to so many different departments. If you were not, the consent agenda did not really recognize them, but between the court reminder program, the Aetna grant, UNC FIT program, Shift NC for Project Build, HOPWA, Watt Street Baptist Church, Wake Electric Membership Corporation, and a private anonymous donation to CJRC. So just want to recognize all of the different grants that we receive. That's from people who are doing a lot of hard work writing grants, and also all the organizations, the nonprofits, and actually private citizens and churches contributing to Durham County government. And I just want to recognize that and say that we are really grateful for all the support.
And Madam Chair, I think that goes for all the board members. We just didn't think it was necessary to pull all those items.
Right.
So it would just be great. Yeah, it would just be great to, if we're going to do that, that goes for the entire board.
Right. I meant, no, on behalf of the board, absolutely, because I want to recognize that people don't know who's just, when we pass the consent agenda, they don't know all the great things that are happening and that we're grateful for those. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second. I guess it's kind of nice to be here. Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Howerton, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're